Let's start with something simple but crucial. Number 1, not getting enough deep, restful sleep. I know how easy it is to dismiss sleep issues after 60. You tell yourself, I'm just getting older, or I've always been a light sleeper. But here's the thing. Sleep is when your body repairs itself. It's also when your testosterone levels get a chance to rebuild. If you're getting less than 6 hours of quality sleep a night, your hormone production takes a major hit. And we're not just talking about energy or sex drive. We're talking about strength, mood, memory, even how your body processes sugar. You might notice you're more irritable, more tired during the day, or even gaining weight without changing your diet. That's not just age. That's a hormonal imbalance, and sleep plays a bigger role than most people think. I'm a health consultant, and over the past 15 years I've worked with a lot of men and women over 60 struggling with low energy and hormonal shifts. One of the clearest patterns I've seen is how overlooked sleep is, especially when you've spent decades putting other people first. I remember John, a retired school principal from Mesa, Arizona. 68 years old, great sense of humor, but he looked completely drained when he first came to see me. He said he woke up 4, sometimes 5 times a night. He napped during the day because he felt exhausted, but then couldn't fall asleep until 2 or 3 a.m. He assumed it was just part of aging. His doctor had checked his heart, his blood sugar, everything seemed fine, but no one had asked him about his sleep routine. Turned out, John had gotten into the habit of falling asleep with the TV on. He'd watch news until he dozed off in his recliner, then wake up disoriented and move to bed hours later. His body never had a real rhythm. We worked on a sleep routine, nothing fancy, just dimming lights an hour before bed, taking a warm shower, turning off all screens by 10:30, and doing a bit of light reading. Within 2 weeks, he was sleeping 6 to 7 hours straight. After a month, he told me he felt like himself again, more focused, more active, even his blood pressure had stabilized. What often helps is setting up a regular sleep window, ideally from 10:30 to 6:30, and giving your brain time to wind down before bed. That means no screens, no late-night snacks, and no heavy news consumption. Instead, try a warm shower, a book you enjoy, maybe even a cup of herbal tea. Your bedroom should be cool, dark, and quiet, more like a sanctuary, not a second living room. One of the simplest ways to signal your brain it's time to rest is doing the same routine in the same order every night. Sleep is not just downtime, it's your body's repair shop. If your days feel heavy, your mind foggy, your mood off, look at your nights. It's not too late to fix this. Even starting small, 30 minutes earlier to bed, no screens, can bring real change. You don't need to fight your body, you just need to support it. And you're absolutely capable of that. The second thing I want to bring to your attention is something you probably eat every day without realizing how much damage it's doing: added sugar and processed carbs. Most people I work with in their 60s and 70s don't think of their breakfast as a hormone issue. But what you put on your plate, especially first thing in the morning, can either support your testosterone levels or push them down. That's because sugar, especially in processed form, spikes insulin and causes inflammation, which in turn interferes with hormone production. And the tricky part is, this sugar often hides in everyday foods that seem harmless. Store-bought bread, flavored yogurt, breakfast bars, even oatmeal packets that say healthy on the label. If you're feeling tired, gaining belly fat, losing muscle tone, or just not feeling like yourself anymore, this could be playing a bigger role than you think. I've seen this play out more times than I can count, but one story that really stuck with me was George, a retired mechanic from Dayton, Ohio. He was 71, sharp as a tack, still volunteered at the local community garage. George came to me not because he was worried about sugar, but because he felt off. His energy was lower. He said he didn't feel like doing much, and his doctor had recently warned him about prediabetes. I asked him to walk me through his meals. Turns out, George loved his waffles. Every morning, waffles, syrup, and a tall glass of orange juice. It's my routine, he said, helps me start the day. What he didn't realize was that this combo was flooding his system with sugar first thing in the morning, every single day. We ran a basic nutritional breakdown, and it showed over 60 grams of sugar before 9 a.m. That's more than double what the average adult should have in an entire day. I explained how these sugars can suppress testosterone and keep the body in a cycle of crashes, cravings, and fatigue. George was surprised but open-minded. He started swapping his waffles for a simple breakfast: a couple of eggs, some plain Greek yogurt, a slice of whole grain toast with avocado. Within 2 weeks, his blood sugar readings stabilized. A month later, he told me he felt like I woke up from a fog. And that wasn't just energy. His motivation, strength, and focus came back too. One of the easiest changes you can make, and it doesn't require counting anything or giving up all comfort foods, is to switch your first meal of the day to something protein-based. That means things like eggs, unsweetened yogurt, cottage cheese, or a handful of nuts with some fruit. If you eat toast, look for whole grain or sprouted grain bread. Try to limit store-bought sauces, sugary cereals, and processed spreads. They add up quickly. If you're used to sweet flavors, you don't have to cut them out overnight. Just start by adjusting the morning meal and go from there. Think of it this way. Every bite is a vote for the body you want to live in. This isn't about restriction or punishment. It's about support. You deserve a body that feels strong, clear-headed, and alive, and even a small change in what's on your plate can help bring that back. You're not too old, and it's not too late. Let your food start working for you again. Third on my list, and I say this with real care, is how much time we spend sitting. It might not sound serious at first, but staying seated for most of the day has a real effect on your hormones, especially testosterone. When you stop using your muscles regularly, your body gets the message that they're no longer needed, and as a result it slows down hormone production. Testosterone, in particular, responds to activity. So if you're mostly in a chair, whether watching TV, reading, driving, or even just resting, over time your metabolism slows, your muscle tone fades, and your energy drops. It's not just about strength. It affects your mood, your clarity, even how well you sleep. And if you're already dealing with fatigue or weight gain, this can quietly make things worse without you even noticing why. I've worked with many older adults who didn't think their daily routine needed much tweaking, and I completely get it. After decades of hard work, the idea of slowing down feels earned. But I want to share something that happened with a gentleman named Larry. He's 66, retired from the Postal Service, lives just outside of Denver. Larry came to me feeling heavy, not just physically but emotionally too. He said he'd gained weight, his blood pressure was creeping up, and he didn't feel excited about much anymore. We went over his routine, and honestly, it wasn't unusual. Coffee in the morning, a couple of hours of news, some errands by car, lunch, TV again, maybe dinner out with his wife on weekends. He wasn't lazy, just settled into a rhythm that didn't include movement. What really shifted things was a conversation we had about how even a little activity could help his body wake up. I asked him to try something simple, a daily 20-minute walk. That's it. No treadmill, no gym, just get outside and move. He started walking around his neighborhood right after dinner. He liked seeing the sunset, said it gave him time to think. Within 3 weeks, his mood lifted noticeably. He told me his pants fit better, his wife said he smiled more, and most importantly, he started feeling like himself again. What often helps is choosing a set time of day and treating movement like an appointment. For most people I work with, the best time is right after breakfast or right after dinner. It doesn't need to be power walking, just consistent movement. If you like music, put on a favorite playlist. If you enjoy company, ask a neighbor or your spouse. You can even walk indoors if the weather's bad, around the house, up and downstairs, in a shopping mall. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is consistency. Movement is how your body remembers it's still alive. Muscles, bones, blood, they all need a reason to stay strong. And you don't have to go fast, you just have to go. Think of it as giving your body a gentle wake-up call every day. You're not too late, you're not broken. Your strength is still there. It's just waiting for you to take the first step. The fourth thing I want to mention might surprise you. It's something most people don't think twice about. Common household products and plastic containers. As we get older, we tend to trust the things we've used for years. Dish soap, plastic wrap, storage containers, even that bottle you refill with tap water every day. But there's growing evidence that many of these items contain chemicals like phthalates and BPA that disrupt your hormones. These chemicals can mimic or block hormone signals, including testosterone, and over time they may contribute to fatigue, low mood, weight gain, and even changes in memory. The challenge is that exposure is usually low dose but constant, especially when plastic is used with heat, like microwaving food in a plastic bowl or pouring hot coffee into a plastic travel mug. Your body isn't just reacting to food or exercise, it's also reacting to your environment. And that includes your kitchen and bathroom shelves. A few years ago, I had a client named Frank, 72, retired contractor living in Sacramento. He was in good shape, stayed active, and didn't have any major health issues. But over the course of a year, he started feeling unusually tired, emotionally flat, and just not himself, as he put it. His labs didn't show anything alarming. His heart, sugar, and cholesterol were in the normal range, but his testosterone was low, and no one could figure out why. When we looked at his daily routine, one thing stood out. He reused a plastic bottle all day for hot tea, microwaved leftovers in the same Tupperware he'd had for 20 years, and cleaned his counters with strong chemical sprays that left a sharp smell in the house for hours. I gently suggested a few changes, switching to glass containers, getting a stainless steel thermos, and swapping out the chemical cleaners for a simple homemade mix of vinegar, water, and a bit of lemon. 3 months later, Frank called me and said, "I didn't expect much, but I feel lighter, mentally, emotionally, like something's cleared up." And sometimes that's exactly what happens when your body isn't fighting against a low-grade chemical load every day. What often helps is going room by room and swapping out the easiest things first. For example, use a glass bowl instead of plastic when heating food. Buy a reusable glass or steel bottle for drinks. Look for unscented or eco-friendly cleaning products, or make your own using white vinegar and baking soda. And when you see the triangle recycling symbol on plastic items, try to avoid the numbers 3, 6, and 7. Those are the ones most likely to contain hormone-disrupting chemicals. These small swaps don't cost much, but they can take a little weight off your system over time. Your home should be a place that supports your health, not quietly chips away at it. I like to think of it like gardening. You don't need to pull out every weed at once, but every little bit of care makes a difference. You're not just cleaning your counters or changing bottles. You're giving your body a better chance to thrive, and that's something you absolutely deserve. Fifth on the list, and it's one I bring up carefully, is alcohol, especially when it becomes a daily habit. Now, I'm not here to tell you never to touch a drink again, but I do want you to know how regular alcohol use, even in small amounts, can quietly lower your testosterone over time. Beer is the biggest culprit, but all alcohol can interfere with your liver's ability to regulate hormones, which affects everything from your sleep and energy to your mood and metabolism. As we age, our tolerance changes, and what might have been fine at 40 can start to hit harder at 60. You might think it's helping you relax in the evening, but if you're feeling groggy in the mornings, gaining belly fat, or finding yourself a bit more irritable, it could be more than just getting older. I had a client named Michael, 65, who lives in a small town outside of Raleigh. He came to me wanting to lose weight, feel sharper, and just get ahead of things before anything serious happened. When we went over his day, nothing seemed extreme. Decent meals, light walking, no major health concerns, but he did mention a habit: 2 beers every evening around 8 p.m. while watching the news. "Just helps me unwind," he said. And that's what a lot of people think. But over time I noticed Michael's sleep was shallow. He was waking up more tired, and his lab results showed declining testosterone despite no obvious reason. We talked about what the beer was really doing for him. It was helping him shift gears after the day, marking the end of activity. So we explored other ways to create that same transition without alcohol. He tried a 20-minute evening walk with his dog, followed by herbal tea and quiet time with a book. At first it felt odd, but after a couple of weeks, he said he felt more rested and his cravings actually went down. 3 months in, he'd lost a few pounds and told me, "I didn't think I'd miss the beer less than I missed how I used to feel." One of the simplest ways to shift this pattern is to set a clear limit. For many of my clients, that's 1 or 2 drinks a week max, and it helps to replace the routine, not just remove it. If you usually drink at night, try walking after dinner, calling a friend, or trying a warm, non-caffeinated drink. The key is to still have that sense of comfort and winding down, just without the hormonal downside. You're not giving something up. You're choosing something better. Your health, your clarity, your energy, these are worth protecting. Even small changes add up, and if you've made it this far in life, you've already shown you can adapt, grow, and take care of yourself. Let this be another gentle step in that same direction. Let us know which of these reasons surprised you the most. Maybe you're already dealing with one of them. Share your story. We read every comment. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell so you won't miss our next videos. We're preparing a lot of helpful content to support your health. And remember, you are not alone. You're stronger than you think, and your life is a treasure worth protecting.